The most powerful man in the history of the music industry died this morning. And I don't say that loosely. Clive Davis, the man who discovered Whitney Houston, the man who co built Bad Boy Records with Sean Combs, passed away today, June 22nd, 2026, at his Manhattan home. He was 94 years old. His family confirmed it to the New York Times. Multiple outlets, including Variety, TMZ, Deadline, all reported it within the same hour this morning. And I want to be clear from the jump. This video is a tribute. Clive Davis shaped the soundtrack of your entire life, whether you knew his name or not. We're going to honor that legacy today, and we're also going to tell the full truth about it because that's what he deserves. But we'll get into it on the other side. Now, if you're younger and you only know the name from the headlines, let me put this into perspective for you. Clive Davis started as president of Columbia Records in 1967. Before he was done, he had signed Janis Joplin, Carlos Santana, Bruce Springsteen, Aerosmith, Billy Joel, Pink Floyd, Aretha Franklin, Barry Manilow, and the list goes on. Then he got fired from Columbia in 1973. And instead of disappearing, he came back and built an entire empire from scratch. He founded Arista Records in 1974, then J Records. He ended his career as chief creative officer of Sony Music. He was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in the year 2000 as a non-performer. He won 5 Grammys. Five. This man did not just discover talent, he manufactured legends. And when you hear the names I'm about to say, you'll understand exactly what I mean. Whitney Houston. In 1983, Clive Davis signed a teenager named Whitney Houston to Arista Records. She was, by every account, the most gifted raw vocal talent he had ever heard in his life. And he said that publicly many times. He didn't just sign her, he shaped her entire career. He picked her singles, he guided her image, he stood next to her at the defining moments of her professional life. When she went from a New Jersey church girl to the biggest voice on the planet, Clive Davis was the architect. And when Whitney Houston died in a bathtub at the Beverly Hilton Hotel in February 2012, just hours before Clive Davis's annual pre-Grammy party, which went on as scheduled that night, he gave the eulogy at her funeral. He described her as his greatest discovery, his greatest joy, and I believe he meant every single word of that. The question the internet has been asking for years is a complicated one, and we'll get into that. But first, let's talk about the other names you need to know. Sean Combs, Puffy, Diddy, whatever you call him, Brother Love, who knows? You know him right now as the man currently serving a federal prison sentence at FCI Fort Dixon, New Jersey. In July 2025, a jury convicted Sean Combs on 2 federal counts of transporting women across the state lines for prostitution under the Mann Act. He was acquitted of the more serious SCX trafficking and racketeering charges. He was sentenced to 50 months, just over 4 years. His lawyers are appealing. As of today, he is still behind bars. What fewer people are talking about today, though, now that Clive Davis is gone, is this. Clive Davis co-founded Bad Boy Records with Sean Combs in 1993 when Puff Daddy was an industry kid with a vision and no real infrastructure. Clive Davis and Arista Records provided the backing that put Bad Boy on the map. Biggie, Total, Faith Evans, Craig, Matt, the entire Bad Boy roster launched under that arrangement. The most powerful gatekeeper in music history helped build the machine that Diddy ran. Now, I'm not here to convict Clive Davis of anything. He was never charged. He is not Diddy. But I want you to understand the footprint this one man had across the entire industry, from Whitney to Bad Boy. His fingerprints are everywhere. And that is exactly why today the internet is not going to let him go quietly. I need to pause here and be very transparent with you. Everything I'm about to say is what people online are already discussing. These are allegations, unproven, unconfirmed. All individuals are presumed innocent. This is opinion and commentary under fair use. Now, With that being said, let's talk about what the discourse actually is, because pretending it doesn't exist would be dishonest. Clive Davis has long been connected, in rumor and in renewed online scrutiny, since the Diddy era, to the infamous pre Grammy parties that he hosted every year at the Beverly Hilton. Those parties were the place to be in the music industry. A-list artists, executives, power players, everyone came. And in the post Diddy world, people have gone back and looked at those gatherings and asked a lot of questions. There's also this. In 1973, Clive Davis was fired from Columbia Records amid allegations that included misuse of company funds and connections to what was described at the time as payola culture, paying for radio play. He pleaded guilty to one count of personal tax evasion. He paid a fine. He survived it. He came back. He built a bigger empire, and the industry protected him for 50 more years. I'm not telling you what to think about that. I'm telling you that conversation is happening right now, today, this morning, and you deserve to hear it full and straight. What I will say in this, whatever complicated truth exists in Clive Davis's legacy, his impact on music is undeniable. Those two things can be both true. Because I also want to give credit where it is absolutely due, this is the man who helped give us Alicia Keys. He co founded LaFace Records, which launched TLC, Usher, Outkast, Pink, and Tony Braxton. When American Idol was on top of the world, Clive Davis was the one who saw Kelly Clarkson, Jennifer Hudson, and Fantasia and said, "Those are real artists." And he signed them, and he was right. He spent over 60 years in an industry that eats people alive, and he survived every scandal, every firing, every era shift, from vinyl to streaming, because he had an ear that simply did not quit. Whatever else is true about Clive Davis, that part is not up for debate. Clive Davis was 94 years old. He died this morning at his home in Manhattan, surrounded by his family, his partner Greg, his four children, his eight grandchildren, his two great grandchildren. The industry he built will feel this. The artists he made will feel this. And the conversations that come out of this moment about power, about access, about who gets protected and who doesn't, those conversations are only just the beginning. Rest in peace, Clive Davis. The music will outlast all of us. Now, before you go, if you made it this far, you're already part of the royal community. Hit that subscribe button, like this video if I give you something to think about today. Share it with somebody who needs to see it, and drop your thoughts in the comments. What's your favorite artist or songs connected to Clive Davis's legacy? And do you think Clive Davis's legacy is complicated? Also, do you think the industry protected him? I read every single comment. Also, if you would like to support this channel and see it grow, please check out my ebook, Prenups, Postnups, and Power Moves, a simple, honest guide to money, protection, and power in relationships. The link is in my link tree in the bio as well as the description. Your support through the likes, views, and comments have really been so amazing, and the support of purchasing this ebook will be just the icing on the cake. I'm Mackenzie. Although it was a sad episode, and again, rest in peace to Clive Davis, this is Crowned by Kenzie. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.